I am making this video to address the claims that my videos are merely predictions. And for me, I do not have anything against people who make bus route prediction videos. I'm just making a case for myself. So the number one problem I have with such bus prediction videos is that people are really prone to overguessing. So overguessing refers to, like, let's say Bangkok ITH. I'm just going to illustrate using an example. So for Bangkok ITH, I already am aware, I already was aware of the changes 2 years before the actual implementation of such changes. And even back then, there was already, some deliberations of 965 whether it is good to extend it to Bangkok or just leave it at Sengkang for the time being, stuff like that. But okay, let's say 110, 114, 156, and then there is also 374 moving back to Sengkang. So when you talk about Bangkok, this one is a route extension. This one is merely a shifting of a route from outside to inside. This one is technically considered a truncation, and this one is also considered shifting. It is the exact same thing when it comes to, let's say, Woodley ITH, which is not open yet. And these are the confirmed services that will be involved in the route amendments. So the same thing goes. This one is an extension. This one is an extension. This one is also an extension. This one is merely a shift. And this one is a truncation. Alright, it was never meant to be a truncation, but it was because SBS Transit rejected LTA's proposals to lay over or loop outside Woodley ITH or near there before the official opening of the ITH. It got rejected, so that's why it went to Serangoon and it will be truncated. But we all know that wasn't supposed to be happen if that wasn't supposed to happen if SBS Transit did not intervene. But that aside, you can see that for most, like, small scale amendments, not talking about large scale, a lot of them happen to be extensions or shifts. And usually in the process of them, there will only be like one or maximum of two routes that get truncated because a new ITH has opened. And this is kind of the issue. I have seen, like from experience, a lot of people talking smack about Service 100 being truncated to Woodley ITH, which makes no sense at all. It's as if sometimes I feel like people are only guessing for the sake of guessing. Because if you look at what you have outside, you have these two. This one is unable to deploy high capacity buses, be it double deckers or bendy buses, and the same goes for this one. It's because of Upper Aljunied Road as well as like Franco Avenue, Kembangan MRT, that roundabout and stuff. And you have to understand that you cannot just leave this 135 alone. 135 is unable to tank all the demand from Aljunied all the way to Serangoon Avenue 2. There is just no way. Even if you run it at like 10 to 12 minute frequencies, there is just no way. And if you ever truncate 100 to like Woodley ITH, you are just cutting off the link from like, Aljunied MRT in this case, all the way up. And you can even debate like Beach Road, Kallang. You are just cutting off the link and forcing everyone to take 135. You're just shifting the problem elsewhere if you ever truncate it. I mean, like, some of you might not be aware, but this is basically what I mean when you guys just predict for the sake of predicting, guess for the sake of guessing. And the second problem that you would run into when making these sorts of prediction videos is tunnel vision. And what I mean specifically in this context is that, okay, 965, there is still room for like extension. Whether they choose to do it or not is another thing, but it's because you get so tunnel visioned on like the fact that Buangkok ITH can accommodate like around 3 more services. So just for the sake of fulfilling these 3 spaces, you end up guessing things like 27 shifting to Buangkok, 89 shifting to Buangkok, and I'm gonna tell you all of these are completely false. And what you guys are tunneled on are things like these. You guys are so tunneled on the fact that, oh, because there's an MRT at Hougang, there's this new MRT line at Hougang, so definitely these will be shifting. This is basically the kind of mindset that some of you guys have. You are just shifting these two, 27 and 89, for the sake of shifting it. It's like you just get so tunneled on like, oh, reducing duplication, but what kind of duplication? You're not like duplicating the MRT stations. It's like 27 and 89, they only touch Hougang Cross Island Line. When it comes to the northeastern region, they do not touch Serangoon North, they do not touch Tavistock, they do not touch Defu at Tampines Road, Hougang Avenue 1. Sorry, not Avenue 1, but Avenue 7. They do not touch these MRT stations at all. And it's not even considered like duplication. And in some cases, 27 and 89's demand might even increase because of like people coming from Cross Island Line in the future and transferring to 27 or 89 in order to reach like Buangkok or Sengkang. It also works this way. It also works in this fashion as well. So in short, this kind of tunnel vision is bad, and it only leads to you making, uninformed guesses, I would say. And the thing is, these are merely just provisions. It is not necessary to fill it up. You don't have to cram 7 services into Buangkok ITH if there is no need to do so. This just means room for expansion for future services. If you pull these 2 services, you only effectively have like 1 slot left. And that's not good, especially when Sengkang West or the area around Buangkok Link and Crescent is like expanding. You cannot do anything. So this is why they don't try to amend everything or like introduce so many new routes at once. And the next point about overguessing is something along the lines of this. So you guys will be like, okay, let's pick some services to extend to Punggol Coast from Punggol Interchange. Okay, yes, conceptually that's kind of how it works, but like, you guys have this bad habit. Y'all are like, feeder, already serves, and then from whatever is left, y'all would just like, it's just like drawing lots, if you get what I mean. Y'all will just like pick stuff to extend at random, and then to your viewers you are like, hey, please evaluate my choices, do you agree or disagree with me? And I'm like, what's the point? You have so many services over here, and then everyone is just going to, spiral into this whole loop of like, I'm gonna guess which one gets extended, and I don't care about the reason. I just want to make a so-called informed guess based on my educated guesses or whatever. And it's like, I'm just gonna run through what probably goes on in your mind. You guys are probably like, oh, this one, you shouldn't extend this one. You should extend this one. You should extend this one because, okay, it connects to more places. And I think 50 at Punggol Coast would be good as well. And I also think 62 can link up Punggol Field and Punggol Coast. This one, let's bring back the old 82. This one, I don't want it to. I don't want it to extend to Punggol Coast because this is meant to be a short route. Oh, more connections. Ah, this is good. More connections. This is good. Brings more people to ITE, College East, and Temasek Poly. Yes, this is good as well. This route is useless. I don't like it. This route is like, it serves Edgefield Plains and it has to bring them to Punggol Central, so no. So if you go about doing it with this kind of mindset, you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. You're gonna have 9 of them that you want to be extended to Punggol Coast, and out of this 9, you're just gonna, eliminate some more. You guys are gonna be like, okay, I think 43 and 43M needs to hub spoke to the central, so let's eliminate them. I don't think they will be extended. And then you'll also probably be like, oh, Punggol Drive needs to link to Punggol Interchange, but there's already 3A6, so let's send 50 to Punggol Coast. And let's also send 62 to Punggol Coast because this is from Field, this is from Central. And then let's throw in a bit of nostalgia. I think it can help out 84 a bit. This is a good prediction. I think it'll come true. This links to Changi Airport. Good. 117, maybe on second thoughts, I don't want to extend it. I should extend 118, link up all the schools. And you'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get like a total of 6 predictions. I don't even have to like watch you guys' videos in detail, and I already know this is the kind of stuff, the kind of like process of overthinking that goes in your mind. It's like, oh, just more connections, link up all the schools, or like, I don't mind that it's like low level thinking, but the issue I have with this is you guys are just haphazardly picking out services from the whole pool and like just thinking of which ones you can extend. Process of elimination, I'm gonna eliminate all the feeders and those that already passed by there and stuff. You repeat this process for like every single amendment. And I'm like, is there even any meaning to this? The whole point of me making such videos is that, okay, in this context, I'm gonna do it the reverse way. I'm gonna tell you the exact services that maybe are still in the planning stages or have already been confirmed. I'm gonna tell you all of them in this case. I don't mind if you don't know about 34E, because it's like an interim service, and I'm gonna tell you all of them, and I want you to tell me why these services were picked in the first place. I want it to be disambiguous and clear. I don't want it to be like just a stupid lottery game, just random guessing, just you know, the kind of like overthinking that I mentioned earlier about, oh, more connections from here to here. I think it connects this A to B to C and I think it's good, and that's not how it works. And briefly, I will tell you why. This one is a CRL interim service. This one is because it has something to do with like offloading 858 a little bit. You don't want everybody to cram on this or this. That could be one reason, or maybe that's the reason. Even if you don't know the official reason, that's fine. And then regarding this one is probably something related to Sembawang, to Yishun, and Canberra as well. It's because these areas, they are good catchment and they need more links to like Northeast. And there might also be people from, you know, SIT, the university, that might be staying near Sembawang, Canberra, or Yishun. And because of that, they saw this as an opportunity to bring those people, like give them a direct ride without them cramming on 84G and 84W, or even this 383 over here. They want to give them a doorstep ride to SIT. And you know, students, they love doorstep rides, just like the adults. So you see the difference between what I'm saying. I'm already saying it in simple terms. You see the difference of what I'm saying versus what other bus enthusiasts might be saying. Or like just randomly making like 99 guesses out of like 199 services or whatever. You see the difference? And then 383, this is a new service. I'm not expecting you to know it. I'm also not expecting you to know what 104 is, but even 43M. How many bus enthusiasts are able to like, they are like cerebral enough to explain that they want to split off 43 and 43M because this is kind of redundant. Like right now, and even 43 has been downgraded to single deckers. They just want to give more use to 43M, and in some way reducing duplication between 43, because if 43 and 43M already bunches so much, what's the point of letting them bunch even more? It is better to separate them so that they can go to new areas, and even if they bunch, people are effectively going to like different places, or they're taking one bus over the other because it's like faster or anything. You see like the difference in the kind of evaluation, like from, let's say, what I'm saying versus what the other enthusiasts are saying. I'm not saying that I am better than them, but I'm just saying that even if you are predicting stuff, you need to be able to like able to explain, give this kind of in-depth explanation, and be able to like actually assert it. Because the second point which I'm about to say is that a lot of these enthusiasts, they lack assertiveness. So what this basically means is that you be assertive even when you are unsure about specific details in like regarding the route amendments or the reasons why this was carried out, why was it green lighted, why was it rejected, you have to be assertive. Like, I'm an introvert in real life and even online. I'm like 93% introvert, but at least I have like some form of like assertiveness. And to be honest, I think this has nothing to do with like, being introverted or extroverted. It's just like if you want people to take you seriously, or you want people to actually listen to you or be engaged in what you're trying to say, you have to be at least somewhat assertive when you're, you know, pushing your claims or like stating facts or anything. And for me, I just tell people as a matter of fact. I don't like beat around the bush. Maybe sometimes I, over regurgitate and, yap a little bit more than I should. But at the very least, I'm like clear on what I want to do. My intentions are clear. I want people to like actually listen to what I have to say. I don't take myself seriously, and I'm not expecting other people to like do so as well. I have never really branded myself as like, I'm very serious or anything. You know, if you know me in real life, I'm not like that, but I just want to give like clear cut information to people, regardless of whether it turns out 100% accurate or not. And I think what you guys can do is maybe something along the lines of like, so how I could summarize it is just in general, being more confident in your so called guesses, even like regardless of whether you know the behind the scenes, like what actually happened in the planning process or anything, just, have more confidence, have more like faith in yourself. Do not be afraid to get things wrong. I repeat again, do not be afraid of getting things wrong. And you shouldn't give off, the second point is like, you shouldn't give off like vibes such as, oh, I'm not sure, I'm just guessing for fun, let's wait for the official release kind of vibes unnecessarily. Don't, like, just don't talk that way, okay? Because again, from experience, I find that when you guys are like doing these sorts of like prediction videos, you guys most of the time you aren't even sure of, you're really unsure of like your general direction. You're unsure of like what kind of message you're gonna send across, and like you give off the impression subconsciously that, oh, I just want to make a guess for fun. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like if you do that, people won't like, take your videos seriously. They would just be like, okay, let's watch this guy's guesses, let's watch this guy's guesses, and let's see who wins in the end. And whoever wins, I'm gonna congratulate. And then whoever doesn't win, I'm gonna be like, oh, you were so close, try harder next time, but I commend you for your effort. Whoops. So yeah, it's like I find it really pointless to just make this kind of prediction video. It's like, I don't gamble, but it to me it's like equivalent of like doing the lottery. There is no difference. So my last point about like such prediction videos is that some of you, I don't know why, you you have this bad habit of trying to force amendments. So like for example, just now we had the example of 100, because it's like you guys are like, upper aljunied road, let's force it in. And then 107, like, please do not do this. 107 is meant as a Northeast Line redundancy bus service from Boon King all the way up to Kovan and Hougang. The fact that you guys force 107 in means you do not understand not only the history but the reason why the services are routed in a certain way. NEL is already crowded, and even if it isn't crowded, you still need at least one alternative outside every MRT station. I mean, that's the general policy. I did not say this is the actual like policy. Even for like Founders Memorial, there will be like service 11, service 158. Both will extend down from Rue Cross down there. So basically, Rue Cross, they would probably call it twice. So if you are unable to explain things like these, it means that conceptually you do not have a good fundamental understanding of, you know, routing buses in general. Not really like the intricacies about regarding route planning, but you don't even understand why the routes are specifically designed in a certain manner. So like when I see all these like, oh, let's amend 107 into Woodley, and you guys are not joking, you guys are like actually serious about it. I just kind of like, I don't know how to feel about this. I feel a little bit disappointed in you guys sometimes. It's like you guys just take a random redundancy bus service and you're cutting it because, oh, LTA cuts buses because they don't care about bus redundancy and they want people to take into the train, and reducing MRT duplication is always the way to go. This is how you sound like sometimes. I gotta be honest. And this is like a really, really low level understanding of like just public transport in general. That's all I have to say. And then it's also the same thing with Tampines North. You guys are like, oh, let's send 58 there. Why not? And then you guys are also probably like, oh, let's send 67 there. Let's send 23 there. Let's like send every single Tampines service in existence to Tampines North. Again, same issue. You are extending for the sake of extending. The central hub is at Tampines for a reason and not Tampines North. And I've also seen really ridiculous suggestions about this. Like, this doesn't even make any sense to begin with. You have so many other options. You have like 101, 107, 82, even 43. You have so many options that can bring you up northeast. And you choose to make the fare recovery rate of an already terrible service even worse. I'm like, and you guys claim that like, oh, and it'll induce demand because people like express services from the west to the northeast. No, that's not how it works. Again, this is like, again, really, really low level understanding. And I've also seen people trying to force 97 up Tengah, trying to force 961 to go Tengah and or like Gali Batu because they claim it duplicates 178 when sometimes 178 cannot even handle the demand at Kranji. It's like full to door. And sometimes even the 960s and 961s are full to door as well. It's like you guys are extending services or cutting them short because you like it, because you like the connections, and not because the amendment is actually sound, and not because the amendment actually benefits either the residents or the bus captains, like in terms of welfare and stuff. No, you guys just want the routes to look pretty. You guys just don't want stuff to like duplicate each other, even though sometimes duplicating is okay, like in the case of 25, 55, and 854, because the duplicate sectors are only the intermediate sectors, and even the intermediate sectors, they require like a lot of these buses. Like if you miss one, there's another one that's like coming in like, I don't know, like 7 to 12 minutes. You just have to wait. Because all of these have a lot of end-to-end demand, and duplication is completely okay. I'm not saying duplication in the case of like, you know, 82 and 83 in the past from Punggol Road End to like Shenton Way and New Bridge Road. I'm not talking about that. That one is crazy, and frankly speaking, I don't even encourage it. That was just a trend that like if there is one New Bridge Road variant, there would also be one Shenton Way variant in the past. But this kind of duplication is alright. You guys gotta be able to explain like when the duplications are necessary and when is it okay to amend or truncate certain services. And from from all the responses I've been seeing, a lot of you don't. So as a summary, just be more confident in yourself. Like, don't be unsure necessarily. You can be unsure about the details about certain things, but do not be unsure about the message that you want to convey. And don't be unsure of like the points that you want to bring across, even if you are a bit skeptical about like the validity of certain points. Just be more natural, and it's okay to be wrong. And the last point is do not, or at least try not to tunnel vision on just one thing. I know this comes with experience, but just try. And don't just make guesses for the sake of like guessing, because nobody is gonna treat your prediction video seriously if you guys are just taking services at random, like just picking them like some kind of lottery that I've explained just now. And if you just say connecting this and this, connecting this and this, doing like really surface level evaluation, I wouldn't understand the point of your video. You're just making it for the sake of it. Go a bit more in depth and at least try to understand why the amendment is like that, simply.